I lived in South Africa for about 5 years. I first went to South Africa in 2010 due to the World Cup. I wanted to go see the World Cup. It was exciting, the first African country to host the World Cup. And I went there, it was fun, I had a good time. And then I met a gentleman over there and I had a baby, and I went back to my country. I'm from Kenya. I went back to my country to give birth, and then I went back to South Africa with the baby. When I went back to South Africa with the baby, the dad of the baby one time kidnapped or abducted my child. I'm telling you, it went on for about, I think, 2 months, 3 months. I didn't see my child. And then I went to the police, of course, because, yeah, I mean, where else can you go? I went to the police to report the abduction of my child. And South African people call people from other African countries kwere kwere. So if I use the word kwere kwere, this is how they refer to any other black person from any other country. They call you kwere kwere. So I went to the police station to open a police file based on the abduction of my child. And when I got there, the police were like, these kwere queres, you know, they were actually talking like right there, you know. Sometimes they assume that you don't understand their mother tongue, but given that most of their languages are Bantu, and I also speak Bantu, you pick up on what they're saying, and you've been exposed to the language long enough, you can pick up here and there, and they're talking right there in your face, and they're like, these kwere queres, they just have so many problems, they are always having issues, like they cannot solve their own problems. Like, hello, it's a society. Every society has problems, not just the kwere queres, you know. Okay, I'm going to use the kwere quere because that's the way it is termed there. So it's not just the kwere queres that have problems. A society, any society will have issues. So they're like, no, all the issues that South Africa has is because of the kwere queres. So they're like, yeah, you guys just come here and you ruin us. And this is me. I am a mom. I'm coming here to tell you guys that my child has been abducted. And instead of you just having a sympathetic ear and trying to help me solve my case, you're telling me about how I'm ruining your country by bringing my problems there. Okay, so they didn't help. They didn't even bother to investigate or look for the guy or nothing. They did nothing because I am a kwere kwere. So on one occasion, I am a believer. So I'm in the barabara. By that time, I was like frustrated so much. I was just standing at a bus stop, and when I was standing at the bus stop, I just believe it was a miracle, because that's all that there was, a miracle. I was standing at the bus stop, and then when I'm standing there at the bus stop, I see a woman approaching. I don't have very good sight, and that day I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I see this person approaching, and I cannot make out her face. And then I see she's holding a child, and then as I look at them, the child looks like my child, but I'm thinking to myself, maybe I am, you know, kind of losing it a little bit, because yeah, this situation already is depressing me enough. Maybe I'm losing my mind, and I'm looking at them more closely as they get nearer and nearer to me. And then I that's my daughter, and then she saw me, and then she's actually smiling at me and coming towards me, and then so I'm like, wow, yeah, it's my child. And then it turns out this woman is the baby daddy's new catch, so she's the one now staying with the child. And coincidentally, here I am, and here she is. So when I saw my child, the child, of course, comes towards me, and I grab my child. And now we started a tug of war. Like, she's pulling, I'm pulling. And some people, they are called the police. When they call the police are obligated to answer a 911 call, because that's they don't know who they're answering the 911 call to. They're just told somebody called, there's trouble here and there. So they go to the location of the place. So when they came to our location, they found us there, and based on the fact that we were both kwere kwere, my friend, they left. I tried to tell them, I opened a file with you guys. I have a file number. My child was abducted. If anything, they should have put this woman under arrest or something. No, they left. They're like, we do not interfere with kwere kwere nonsense. I was like, what? So they left. And now me and this lady are left tagging war. We were actually fighting for my child. And she tried calling the dad of the child, and I grabbed the phone. I grabbed her phone and threw it over the fence, and luckily the bus came. Remember, I was standing at a bus stop, the bus came, so I just grabbed my child and just dashed inside the bus, and the next day I was out of South Africa. Bad habits die hard, eh? So a couple of years later, there I am back to South Africa. So when I went back again, I met this wonderful gentleman, or so I thought. We got married in Kenya, and then we went back to South Africa to live there because, you know, he had ties there, he had a life there, and fine. So we went back to South Africa. Wow, one fateful day, he beat me so hard, guys, like so hard. I could not breathe for 6 months. Every time I took a breath, my diaphragm hurt, like my chest, it hurt so bad based on the blows and the fists that had landed on me, on my chest, so and on my ribs. Like it was like torture. Whenever I was breathing, it's like there were pins inside my, you know, diaphragm. So that's how bad the beating was. And I have a black eye, and not just a black eye, I mean, I cannot see from one eye. I'm bleeding, I'm swollen all over the face, and I have bruises everywhere. So of course I called the police. I called 911. Again, police are obligated to answer a 911 call because they could be coming to help their fellow South Africans. So they don't say, they cannot refuse to come to a 911 call. So they come to the door. We open the door, and same thing. The moment they saw or heard that we are not speaking one of the wonderful languages of South Africa, they left. Yet again, they did not even take my abuser out of the house. At least, you know, like, hey dude, you know what, leave, let her calm down, and you can try and talk to her later on and apologize and make up. No, he was left right there in the house. They didn't even like try to tell me, ma'am, you could go to a shelter, we can even give you a lift to a shelter so that you, oh, and guess what, this happened in front of my child. So nothing. They are not even worried about my safety and my child's safety, that this person has just, like, seriously, and they could see it. No, they could see it. It was obvious. All the furniture was all over the place. It was obvious that there was an altercation in this house, and they didn't give a shit. They left. They say they didn't even offer me any help of any kind. Like, there are so many shelters in South Africa. They could have given me a lift to one, or even told me that, hey ma'am, if you walk out, you can walk to ABCD place. No, they were like, this is yet another kwere issue. They started talking with there were two policemen, so both of them started talking in their language. And I remember actually 2 other policemen came, because I think when 911 called, they answered a number of them. 2 more came. One was a woman, and she came with her partner, and they came to the house. Nothing. They did nothing. They left me right there. So I faced so much danger. When after those incidences, I called myself a meeting, kajita kamukutano, and I'm like, okay, what am I doing in South Africa? What are the chances of even getting papers here? What are the chances of making it financially here? Impossible. Like, this place is impossible to do anything. At this point, I'm gonna probably lose my life. I'm already facing so much danger. And then I remember at that point, they started having like some issues in the nearby neighborhoods, like township. They call them townships. There were several xenophobic attacks in those townships, and I'm like, okay, it's time to leave. So I left South Africa, and in all honesty, I do not think I will ever step foot in South Africa. The most place I can actually think of going to is maybe Cape Town, just for holiday and out. You know, you buy your freedom in and out, because South Africans take out all the frustration that the colonizer has put on them, on other African people. They are African, but they don't care. You are a kwere. So if you are a kwere in South Africa, please leave. Those people will kill you. They will burn you. They will leech you in the streets like you are nothing.